Hey, Vinyl Community, Jeff here again. This is a post-birthday exploration of what happened. So, if you saw my last video on the one I made on Thursday, was my actual birthday, and I showed some candy I was eating and made a black licorice comment. And anyway, found out that some of you other ones out there are favorable to the dark side of the licorice world. So, Thursday. Later that night, I went out with some friends as usual. This is my typical Thursday night. We go to the movies quite often, have the movie club and everything. So I get home from the movie at like 10 o'clock. And I'm like, why are all these cars in my house? Why are all the kids here? And including my son and his wife. I'm like, why? And then my wife's like, uh-oh. And it's 10 o'clock at night. We walk in, and so all the lights are off, and of course they start singing. There's candles, there's a birthday cake, so they surprised me with like a surprise. They came home from work there after we were gone. They came home, they made a cake. My daughter made a cake, a lemon cake, which is one of my favorite flavors. And then what they did with one half of it is they put Oreo cookies all over it, crumbled it up like dirt, like rocks, made it big. The other side, they put the icing on there and they colored it orangish red. So it looked like lava and a mountain. And then they put Star Wars figures of Obi-Wan and Anakin on there. So yeah, they put out some of their old Lego toys and did that. And then I did get a card from the kids. And this was another thing that was cute, is my daughter-in-law signed it and said, hope your final birthday, I had to read this twice because I'm thinking, my final birthday, am I dying here? Hope your final birthday as just a plain old dad was awesome, because next year you'll have a little buddy blowing out candles with you. Because, I mean, I don't know if I've ever mentioned before, but my daughter-in-law is pregnant and is due in about 3 or 4 weeks. And that is actually my first dip into the grandparent pool. Even though some of my older kids probably have had the ability, they just haven't had the opportunity. This is the first one that's married and pregnant. So yeah, I'll be a grandfather this time next month. Anyway, and then, so the cake, and then they gave me this care packet, and you can see in here, I've already eaten some of it. Black Twizzlers. Good and Plenty's. And they also got me red Twizzlers, some of my, because you really only get these at the theater as far as you don't get black. So at the theater, I always get Twizzlers if I go there. And I always love Raisinets in my popcorn, so I get Raisinets. One of my other favorite candies is just anything artificially flavored banana. Just a whole bag of banana flavored toffee. And the second, Good and Plenty, and Mike and Ike's, which are my favorite fruity candies. So yeah, I would have to say my kids know me fairly well. But there are some vinyl that came along with that. So my son, the one who is pregnant, he always ends up defaulting. He's like, I'm tired. Should I be buying you records? I mean, you get them yourself. Is it really... blah, blah, blah. You know, he's just kind of like, should I get you something better? Blah, blah. You buy enough? Do you want enough? I'm like, look, you don't have to get me anything, but, you know, there's always records that I want. He has access to my wish list. He buys them for me for birthdays and Father Days and Christmas and stuff. So I think he's just thinking that he feels like he's getting boring or making me feel bad. I'm like, no. My wish list is full. There's always something I want. So he ordered some stuff. Just a couple new bands. I've never heard of these bands, but he went ahead and bought them from under this. Some Black Sabbath. I don't know, some Black Sabbath. No, anyway, so I told him, I said, good thing I saw a copy of this somewhere about a week ago and almost bought it. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't. So yeah, this is the reissue. That's the black and marbly looking, not marbled. That mixed black and purple. I don't know, you know, this is a fairly recent reissue. I'm hoping it's good. I don't know, maybe y'all have an idea that maybe this is not a good mix or something. I don't know. But, you know, it was a gift, and I've been wanting this album. I don't have a lot of the early Black Sabbath stuff, so I'm glad to get that. It was on my wish list. He got it. And Led Zeppelin. Literally my first Led Zeppelin on vinyl. Somebody had mentioned that in one of my videos. They're like, you know, you keep showing all these records you buy on deals from Amazon that are really dropped in low, but they said, I've never seen you show Led Zeppelin. I have Led Zeppelin, everything on CD. I have both box sets that have all their albums on CD. A lot of their stuff I'm watching for, but you don't see it a lot in the wild. So I said, you know, I don't think I have them on my actual Amazon wish list. So I put them on there. And they do. They drop down, and I could probably buy them because most of them are in their $20, $21 range. A couple of them are higher. So he got me Led Zeppelin 3. It's a good start. Led Zeppelin 2 is where I discovered them as a kid. Bought the 8-track of Led Zeppelin 2. At this, I was probably the only Led Zeppelin album I had as a kid, and I listened to it all the time. So that was, I don't want to say it's my favorite, but it's the one I grew up with and I listened to, and the only one I listened to, so favorite. So then my wife and I went out today. Today's Saturday. We went out and we went to the Antique Mall, which is a store that has a lot of different people that carry records. And I'm telling you, there's one place there, we looked at it, it's a newer place, and they had a bunch of records, but they were way overpriced. And I know that happens at Antique. This is not an antique store, Antique Mall, so everybody has their own little booths, but I'm like, somebody needs to educate this guy, because he had a copy. So at one booth I saw, this guy had three copies of Alice Cooper's Schools Out. And all three of them, I took them out and looked at them. They didn't have any of the, they were just the album in the sleeve. And all three of them looked very good plus to near mint. I mean, they looked almost unplayed or cleaned. They were really well. I go to this guy's store. He's got one for like $40. And it's unplayable. It's unplayable. It is scratched, dirty. I don't think a cleaning would do it justice. It would do any good for it. I'm like, this guy's trying to sell this unplayable record for $40. When you walk down the hall to this booth down here, the guy's got 3 copies in near mint condition looking, as far as the album itself. Anyway, yeah, some of those people need somebody to re-educate. I didn't get anything there. My wife's like, well, get something. I'm like, well, no. She said, well, get something for your birthday. I'm like, well, no, there's nothing here I really want. So we moved on. And then we went and grabbed a bite to eat. And then I mentioned something about the record store across town. She said, yeah, we haven't been there in a while. Why don't we go there? I'm like, sure. So we went there. She wanted to go to the health food store next door. And I saw some things and I picked up some things. And then, okay, so I picked up some things. And then I found something. They've had it there for a while, but it was pricey. So I was talking to her when she finally came back from the store, and I said, I picked up a few used things, that were $10, $12, $8, $9. And I showed her this one big thing, and I said, it's a lot of money, but I said, I looked it up. I'll tell you about it when I get there. She ended up saying, buy it for your birthday and get all the stuff that you bought. I picked up No Heavy Petting by UFO. It was a $10, $11. It was in excellent condition. So there's nothing major to show here as far. These are just hole fillers, but they were good things they had there in the used bin. I grabbed that. I won't spend a lot of time on these. Let It Roll by TKO. I like the album that followed this a little more, but this one, it was in absolutely great condition, and it was like $8. And I thought I'm gonna grab that. So I grabbed that. Again, just hole fillers. White Wolf, I had the first one. Have always wanted to get the second one. When I do see it, sometimes it's overpriced, sometimes it's not there. And so I went ahead and grabbed that. Again, it was under $10. It was in great condition. I thought, okay, I'm going to grab that. These are just little minor things. This one was in my opinion, was a good one. Big Game by White Lion. I only have Pride, I think, is the only other album I have by them. And that one really needs a new copy of, because that one's got some, it's a little more poppier than I want. And I know that a lot of these have been reissued. But again, this one was like, it was cheap, fairly cheap. And it's still in the shrink wrap. It's got the hype sticker. I mean, it's opened, but it was in the shrink wrap. I should have ripped that off. But hype sticker and everything. So that's what I went in there and I got. And then I showed her this one and I explained to her what I found about it. And she's like, buy it. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. So Live at Donington by Whitesnake. Turns out, you look it up, it only was released in 2011. They released it on vinyl, on CD, and on DVD, and there's never been another reissue of it. There was a 2019 remastered edition that was digitally released, I think, is the only other thing I could find where it was reissued. It was pricey. I don't like buying records that are over $50. It wasn't super expensive. It was over $50. It wasn't, Anyway, but I looked it up, and there was one copy on eBay for $330, and there was about 5 copies on Discogs, none of them in the U.S., and they were all about 150 plus shipping. So this was less than half of any of that. So, but it's still a lot. And then I'm like, but it is 3 albums. So when you break it down by 3 albums, it's not much more than 3 individual priced albums. So she said, buy it. It has some dings. It's got some scratches. Just on the cover here, there's a little scratch there. The corner's kind of bent. But it's out of print. It's rare. And it was less than half of anything I could find online without shipping. So I went ahead and grabbed that. It's been kind of a, when it comes to Whitesnake, one of those grails, just because it's harder to get. Frontier only did it this once. Now, the way things go, watch next month or next year, they're going to reissue this. And I'm going to be really kicking myself. But anyway, grab that. So that was the main thing. Now she's there in the store with me. We go back and we're looking in the jazz section because we both like jazz. She's looking for various things. I've already looked through jazz by the time she gets there. I've hit the spots of the people I like. I had hit the Billy Cobhams and the Sparrow-Jars and this, and we saw Richard Elliott because we saw him in concert the other day. And I'm hitting some of those, and that's all I see. Now she comes in and somehow she stumbles upon, oh, here's the recently received section, and she finds Billy Cobham's, menagerie with the smoking in great condition. I'm like, I didn't see that, and I grabbed that. She found Chick Corea's Electric Band, and I'm like, oh my gosh. There's 3 of their albums that I want. Maybe only there's 3 they got. I don't know, the 3 that I have on CD. They had this, and it was like under $10, and it was in great condition. And I'm like, what the heck? And then she flipped on Chick Corea, Eye of the Beholder. Oh my goodness. Again. I'm like, so keep going. Let's see if the 3rd one's there. But it was not there, only those 2. And they had a best of Billy Cobham. I'm like, I don't need the best of because I'd rather have all the albums. So I didn't do that. So those got tacked onto my already growing stack. She's like, it's your birthday present. Do it. And then I was joking around with the lady at the counter. And I said, so since I bought so much, do I get a birthday discount or something? We don't really do discounts. But then as she's ringing it up, I'll take $2 off this and $3 off of that and $5 off of that. So yeah, I end up getting a little bit of a discount. I maybe saved about $10 on 8 albums, but maybe more than that. She was knocking 2 here and 2 there, and I noticed 5 of them. Anyway, great little birthday stuff. Yeah, lots of licorice, and a decent amount of albums came in, mostly today, as I went shopping for myself. That's it for this one. Just wanted to share it. Thanks for watching. Rock on and rock hard.